Have you enjoyed being a part of the Star Trek family?
Yes, definitely. It's been a great experience.
Last time that we saw Naomi Wildman, she was a hopeful young girl aboard the USS Voyager, dreaming of joining Starfleet. Notably, she was the first child born on a ship that was lost in the Delta Quadrant, making her story unique in Star Trek history. Now, after many years, Star Trek has revealed what happened to Naomi Wildman, a child born among the stars. Before we dive into Naomi's incredible journey, let's talk about how she came to be on Voyager in the first place. It all started when Ensign Samantha Wildman discovered that she was pregnant. But this wasn't your typical pregnancy. Being half-Ktarian, little Naomi took a whopping 18 months to arrive, which meant her mom was carrying her before Voyager even got lost in the Delta Quadrant. Talk about timing, right? But her birth story gets even wilder. Ensign Samantha Wildman was in labor, struggling because her baby was half-Ktarian. The doctor, trying to save both mother and child, attempted something pretty wild. He used the transporter to beam the baby right out. But here's where things get crazy. Just as they put tiny Naomi in an incubator, Voyager hit some seriously rough space weather, and despite everyone's best efforts, the unthinkable happened. Baby Naomi didn't make it. A tale of two Voyagers. But this is where Star Trek magic kicks in, folks. That same space turbulence that caused so much trouble, it created an exact duplicate of Voyager. We're talking about every single bolt, panel, and person on board. And on this second Voyager, another Samantha Wildman was also giving birth. But this time, the baby survived. So now we've got two ships, two crews, and one healthy baby Naomi. The universe itself couldn't bear to let the story end in tragedy. The Great Baby Switch. The situation got even crazier when some nasty aliens called the Vidians attacked the duplicate Voyager. With time running out and lives on the line, the two Captain Janeways devised a desperate plan. Just before the duplicate Voyager was destroyed to save everyone, they sent two precious passengers through a spatial rift. A duplicate Harry Kim, because the original Kim had also died, and the healthy baby Naomi. So the Naomi Wildman that we all know and love, the one who grew up making astronomy reports and becoming the captain's assistant, she is technically from another version of reality. Talk about having an amazing story to tell at parties. And here is the most beautiful part of this whole wild tale. It didn't matter one bit to Samantha Wildman that this wasn't technically her original baby. The moment she held that child in sickbay, brought to her by a duplicate Harry Kim, she knew that this was her daughter. This incredible twist of fate gave us the Naomi that we all came to love, proving that sometimes the strangest accidents of space travel can lead to the most wonderful outcomes. Growing up at warp speed. Well, here's where things get interesting. Remember how I mentioned that Naomi was half-Ktarian? Well, that meant that she grew up faster than your average human kid. At just 2 years old, she was already acting like a 6-year-old. The super speed growth spurt is why we saw 3 different young actresses playing Naomi early on before Scarlett Palmer's took over the role that we all came to love. But growing up on a starship, it's not exactly normal, even by Star Trek standards. Voyager wasn't built for families like the Enterprise D was, so the crew had to get creative. They turned the whole ship into one big classroom, with everyone pitching in to teach little Naomi about life in space. Finding family among the stars. Life aboard Voyager might not have been normal, but Naomi sure made the most of it. While her mom stayed busy with her duties as a science officer, Naomi found an unlikely father figure in Neelix, who became her godfather and personal storyteller. But that wasn't all. She also scored the made-up but awesome title of Captain's Assistant from Janeway herself. Pretty cool for a kid, right? And let's not forget her special friendship with 7 and 9, who helped her write that famous report about the weird planet where time moved very fast. Between Neelix's bedtime stories, 7's tutoring, and the whole crew watching out for her, Naomi might have had the most unique childhood in Starfleet history. A friendship beyond species, Naomi and 7 and 9. One of the most memorable aspects of Naomi Wildman's journey is her relationship with 7 and 9. Naomi's kind, open-hearted nature leads her to reach out to 7, despite 7's initially intimidating Borg demeanor. While their friendship is initially met with resistance, Naomi's gentle persistence wins 7 over, and they begin to bond through shared meals and games of Caddiscot. This connection becomes especially significant for 7 as it allows her to experience a taste of the childhood that she never had, having been assimilated into the Borg collective at a young age. For Naomi, 7 becomes a mentor and a friend, showing her strength, resilience, and the importance of embracing one's individuality. Their bond grows into a family-like relationship, expanding to include into the ex-Borg children that Voyager later rescues, who then become a close part of Naomi's life on the ship. Voyager as home, Naomi's unique sense of belonging. Unlike most of the Voyager crew who yearn for a return to Earth, Naomi sees the USS Voyager as her true home. Growing up aboard the ship, the Delta Quadrant is all she's known, and the crew has become her family. While Captain Janeway, 7, and Neelix play vital roles in her life, Naomi's loyalty to Voyager runs deep. It isn't just a starship to her, it's a close-knit community where she has learned, laughed, and grown. Voyager's endless exploration and adventures have shaped her perspective, making her one of the few characters who is less excited about returning to Earth. For Naomi, the vastness of space and the relationship that she has formed are an essential part of who she is, reflecting the show's themes of family, resilience, and curiosity in the face of the unknown. Naomi Wildman's surprising return in Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5. In the Season 5 premiere of Star Trek Lower Decks, Dos Cerritos, we finally get a glimpse into Naomi Wildman's future. During an early scene, Lieutenant Brad Boimler, Jack Quaid, browses through Fleet Magazine's 30 Under 30 list on his pad, hoping to find his name. Instead, he discovers that Naomi Wildman has earned a spot as one of the magazine's 15 honorable mentions. This revelation confirms that Naomi, now in her early 20s, is part of Starfleet in the year 2381. Boimler jokingly comments that Naomi is like 10 years old, but the math checks out. Given Naomi's accelerated growth due to her Ktarian heritage, she is not as young as she might appear. A genius or just fast-tracked by her unique background? So is Naomi Wildman a child prodigy, or is she simply a beneficiary of her extraordinary circumstances? Starfleet Academy typically admits teenagers, but Naomi's accelerated growth, thanks to her Ktarian genetics, would have made her the perfect candidate for an early start in her career. On top of that, Naomi's upbringing on the USS Voyager might have provided her with the skills, knowledge, and unique experiences that fast-tracked her into Starfleet. After all, Voyager's former Maquis officers had their Starfleet ranks reinstated upon their return, and Captain 7 and 9 skipped Starfleet Academy altogether. With such a rich background, Naomi's rise through the ranks might not be as surprising as it seems. A bright future ahead for Naomi Wildman. While Lower Decks doesn't go into further detail about Naomi's exact role in Starfleet, it is clear that her future is incredibly bright. Whether it's her natural talent, the lessons learned aboard Voyager, or a combination of both, Naomi Wildman has proven that age is just a number in the world of Starfleet. Though Voyager's return to the Alpha Quadrant leaves Naomi's future uncertain, fans have been given tantalizing hints of where her journey might lead. In Voyager's Season 7 episode Shattered, an adult Naomi, played by Vanessa Branch, is seen in Starfleet, a vision that suggests she may have fulfilled her childhood dreams of following in the footsteps of her heroes, Captain Janeway and 7 and 9. This possibility has left fans eager to see if Naomi's story will continue, potentially in Star Trek Prodigy, where she could inspire a new generation of young characters with tales of her unique upbringing on Voyager. Through her growth and resilience, Naomi represents the heart of Voyager and the spirit of exploration, reminding us that family and inspiration can be found in even the most of unlikely places. One fan said, "Naomi Wildman was awesome and innocent. She brought life to the Quadrant and their voyage." Another fan still hopes to see Naomi in one of the future episodes of Star Trek, as they said, I hope Naomi shows up in one of the future Star Trek projects, either Prodigy as an officer working under Janeway, or in Legacy showing up as Seven's friend, maybe now a captain of her own ship. And as we wait to see whether Naomi will ever make her comeback in the Star Trek franchise, be sure to check out Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3's shocking new update, plus new details announced.